Hey, 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 friends! Tamika here, and I am coming to you live on this Tuesday to talk a little bit about nutrition. Maybe you are like me and you're always on this roller coaster of weight loss and weight gain, and you know that you need to do better, and then you start doing better, and then the scale isn't moving as quickly as you'd hope, and so you know that you need to do even better, okay? And that's you, treble one, because that's me right now. And for those of you that don't know me, like I said, my name is Tamika, and I teach stay-at-home moms how to win in life one healthy habit at a time. And today, that healthy habit is nutrition. Okay, so there are 5 reasons why maybe you aren't losing weight when you are tracking your food. So first off, let's talk about tracking your food and why it's important. If you currently track your food right now, tell me the app that you use. If not, then I'm going to share some of the apps that I use. And I'm always open to learning more. So tell me what you use in the comments. So I have used MyFitnessPal and my Plate. And what food tracking apps are, obviously, you put your food in, you put in the quantity, you put in the type, and then it's going to track your calories for you. So that way, if you're trying to maintain or gain weight or lose weight, you can stay under a certain calorie goal. And it'll also track your macros, which are your fats, your proteins, and your carbs. And that can also be important depending on what overall goals you want to get. And when it comes to weight loss, you may think that you're eating healthy, but you're not really eating that healthy. And so the macros really tell you how you're doing in each of the food groups. And so I used MyFitnessPal for a while, and then I got really upset when they said that you had to pay to use the barcode option. And so I looked for other platforms, and I've been using my Plate recently, and I like that. But of course, there's pros and cons to everything. And so the things that I don't like about my Plate is that they don't have as much of the food verified that they do in MyFitnessPal, but my Plate has a barcode scanner. But sometimes when I scan the barcode, it's not in there. So then I have to manually put it in, which is okay because once you put it in, then it's in. But yeah, so pros and cons. Those are the 2 that I use. If you use one, please tell me what it is because I would love to look into it. And I saw this random TikTok video once that said if you put that you live in the United Kingdom in MyFitnessPal, then you can use the barcode option. So I might resort to that or just paying for the app, right? Because if you really want to invest in your nutrition, then invest in your food tracking app, right? Okay, so as I am doing this, I am 7 for 7 or 8 for 8 because I did it yesterday. I'm 8 for 8 in tracking my food. Now, what happens a lot of time, and this is one of the mistakes that people make, is that they forget all the food that they ate. They're like, oh, I had this for breakfast, I had this for lunch, I had this for dinner, but then you forget about the handful of chocolate chips that you ate while you were cooking the kids' pancakes, and you forget about the handful of chips that you ate while you were making the kids' lunches, or you forget about that energy drink that you had in the afternoon to get you through the rest of your day, like the little things sometimes, but we forget. And so it's a good idea to track as you eat, track throughout the day. I like to put in what I think I'm going to eat at the very beginning of the day. So that way I can manage my snacks better and what kinds I need to have based on, the fats, proteins, and carbs that I may be lacking. But it's really hard for me at nights. Like if I'm like, okay, I'm ready for bed and I didn't put my food in, so let me put it all in. And then I put it in at night, then I sometimes forget. So reason number 1 is that you're really not tracking all the food that you are eating. A solution to that is make sure that you put it in as you go. And I know too, that when I put it in as I go, then I'm like, oh, I don't really want to add this in, so I better not eat it. And so it helps me make better choices. Another thing that hinders people from losing weight when they feel like they're doing a good job tracking their food is that they're not really measuring it. And I'm guilty of this and I still am. And it's something I need to get better about. But I'm having a salad. So I put my ranch on and I use Bolt House ranch, which is less calories, less fats, all that. So you can easily do simple swap outs. When you know better, you do better. But, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have a salad. So I put on Bolt House ranch and I don't really measure it. And it's like, oh, I'm pretty sure it was 1 to 2 tablespoons. And so, I just guess. But the times that I actually measure it, I'm like, oh my gosh, a tablespoon is nothing. It's not even on half of my lettuce. And so a lot of times we feel like we're eating healthy, but we're not actually tracking how much of it that we're actually consuming. And so same thing when it comes to like cheese. I like sprinkle on the cheese and I'm like, oh, that's probably a fourth a cup, or it's probably an eighth of a cup. And without measuring, you don't know. And another thing when it comes to measuring is the best way to measure is to get yourself a food scale. And so you can get them off of Amazon or Walmart, but and they usually have different modes where you can measure in ounces, you can measure in grams, but that's going to give you a more accurate reading than using a tablespoon or a cup. Because I don't know about you, if it's something that I really like, maybe I have a mounding cup full, but it all fit in the cup, right? And so sometimes I feel like we cheat ourselves. But yes, so we're not actually measuring. We're like eyeballing it. We're using the palm method. Maybe we're like, oh, that's probably 4 ounces or that. So the more you can measure your food, the better. And the nice thing about these food scales is that you can put your plate on, you could put your salad there, and then you can zero it out. And then you can put on your ranch dressing and you can be like, okay, it was 25 grams of ranch. And then you can input it into your food tracking app using grams rather than tablespoons. And so there's another little tip and trick for you. Okay. The third thing that I didn't even realize, and it makes a difference, is whether you are inputting cooked food versus raw food. Because if you put in that you're having X amount of raw chicken versus X amount of cooked chicken, it's going to fluctuate the calorie count and it's going to fluctuate the protein count of it. And so just being aware that you're putting it in the right way. So dry versus cooked noodles. Okay. Are you supposed to have a half a cup of dry noodles? Because obviously when you cook those, it's going to get bigger, right? Or are you putting in like a cup of cooked noodles? And so just being aware of that. So solution is just to make sure that you put in cooked chicken or raw, and then push the button and put it in. How's that sound? Okay, are you guys getting some value? Drop me some hearts. Okay, I see that you guys are watching on Instagram. You're watching on Facebook. I see my uncle on. Good morning. Okay, so we've gone through 3 tips already. I've got 2 more for you. So number 4 is if you are tracking your food, and you are just putting in equivalents. So you just put in cheese, but not actually the brand. Or you just put in, oh, here's one. Last night I put in pizza, right? Oh my gosh, I'm guilty. I still tracked it. I was still under on calories, but I don't really know the truth. But yesterday I had 4 pieces of pizza from Domino's. So I just put in Domino's pizza. And there was some that was like, oh, 343 calories per slice, 283 calories per slice, and there's all of these different types that you can pick from when it comes to pizza, right? So which one do you think I picked? Well, I didn't pick the least amount and I didn't pick the most amount. I just picked one right in the middle, right? And I don't know how accurate that really is. And I don't know, like when you're going out to eat, you do the best that you can, and that's all you can do. But that's a reason why people aren't being successful, is because once again, you're not actually putting in the food. So the best way to be successful in tracking your nutrition is for you to cook everything and to measure everything and to put everything in the way that you made it. But obviously that's not realistic. So you just do the best that you can. But that, same thing happens when you're putting in different dressings, or you're putting in drinks, or you're putting in condiments, or going out to eat and putting in, whatever you felt like you had there. Because, we have some restaurants here in Rock Springs that are just specific to Rock Springs. Like they're not everywhere. And so obviously it's not going to show up in these food tracking apps. And so you just have to do the equivalent the best that you can. And so know that that's okay, but also know that it's not going to be as accurate. Okay. And then the last thing, okay, number 5, the reason why people are not seeing the weight loss, even though they're tracking their food, is because you are leaving out the little things. Okay. The mayo, the mustard, the dressings, the dipping sauces, and your drinks. Okay. So like you mix up this drink at home, or, you pour yourself a glass of this or a glass of that, and you're not actually measuring your drink or even recording it at all. And a lot of our calorie consumption and, the bad calorie consumption comes from these condiments and the drinks. And so me personally, I tell myself my favorite drink is water. And I try to stay away from the juices and the sodas because they're packed with sugar. and they're just kind of empty calories. And so if I can have water with maybe some enhancements, maybe, you sell supplements, or someone that sells supplements, that these enhancements just give you like vitamins and nutrients without the extra calories and fillers and sweeteners, then that's a good way to feel like maybe you're drinking something more fun without having the added calories. And then same thing, like I was saying, if you're going to cook your eggs with butter, I don't ever talk about that, like my spray or cook them with butter, or any kind of oils. Like the other day we had Navajo tacos. And so I was like, okay, I had Rhodes rolls, I had meat on top, I had salad, and I had some toppings. So I put it all in my Fitness Pal. My husband's like, oh, did you do the oil? And I was like, well, I don't know how much oil. Like I dropped the roll in there and I let it cook, So I just said, okay, probably a tablespoon of oil, and so I put that in there, and then all of a sudden calorie count goes up, fat count goes up. And so those things matter. So remember that. Anyway, so those are 5 tips that I can give you right now. And what I love about these tips is that I personally am taking them and using them and need them in my life. So I hope that it's something that you need in yours as well. And I just am excited to be able to share that with you and to make some more changes. And like I said, I'm 8 for 8 when it comes to I'm 8 for 8 when it comes to tracking so far. And it's all because of my little tracker sheet. I actually have it on my fridge, but I've got it right here. And I put this on my refrigerator, and it's my 5 keys to succeed, where the first day I get to bubble in mindset, or not the first day, every day I bubble in when I do at least 15 minutes of personal development. When I track all of my food, then I bubble in my nutrition. When I exercise for at least 30 minutes, then I bubble in my exercise. My lifestyle is my business. So when I do what I said I was going to do for my business, I bubble that in. And then when I take my supplements, and you guys, like, I know that not everybody needs supplements, but it's kind of like having a baby. You don't need to have an epidural, but why wouldn't you? I've had one baby with an epidural and one baby without, and it was very empowering. And I felt so strong and capable. Like I could do this, I was so strong that I had a baby all natural. But if I were going to have any more babies, I don't want to do it again. Okay. Like give me the epidural. And so I feel the same way about supplements. Yes, you can do it without. Yes, it's empowering and amazing. But if you can have some help, why wouldn't you have some help? Right. So, here is the keys to succeed, and you guys can get this free download. You just text the word key to 307-288-3383, and it'll send it to you. And that way you can print it, a little bit of information about it. Second page goes on your refrigerator where you write down your goals. And this will help keep you on track. So I hope that this was helpful for you. It says Brandy requested to be on my Instagram live. Brandy, I haven't done that before, but we should definitely plan a time for that. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure that you click the link in my bio, subscribe to my Fit Tip Friday emails, and join my Get Fit Club on Facebook. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.